CPL week 4. Now we should have some good stuff. Yep. Alright, I guess it's about time to go into, so we are starting off with week 4 of the CPL. We are going to be having, shoot, let's see if I can remember off the top of my head which teams they are. It's my team, which is teamn, playing against Magical Ponies. And set 1, these are all best of 3s, so best of 5 of best of 3 sets. And game 1 is going to be between Evil Eye and Daddy. And I believe this week's set starts on destination, and then loser picks the map. Yes, indeed. In 2009, Fighting Spirit was not like the king of maps. So, spawning in the top position as the Teal Protoss, we have Evil Eye, and in the bottom corner, as the green Protoss, we have none other than Daddy, who we can probably guess is going for something along the lines of your daddy. So the question is, will he be Evil Eye's daddy today, or is Evil Eye going to be too mischievous for Daddy to handle? I guess they're seeing if the ops can stick around, judging, feeling out the lag, making some opinions on that. And of course, destination, 2-player map. Obviously you can tell the 2 spawns. Very large main, a lot of space up here, so a popular map for proxies and other such things. Cheese type map. Also, another common spot to proxy is over here in the natural, because if you see the scouting path, it doesn't scout, so this part of the natural over here is a common place to build a gateway or 2 and be sneaky. You can actually see Evil Eye is pretty well aware of this, as he is going to do the scout your main. He's checking the common proxy places. But we've got a pylon in the base here for Daddy, so it doesn't look like either player is planning to do anything particularly cheesy right off the bat. And of course, another option too on destination for certain builds is you can mine out the minerals in the back if the opponent isn't paying attention, and run a bunch of units in, whether that's vultures or lings or hydras or whatever. Gateway for both players, ever so slightly faster for Daddy. Looks like both players continuing to pump probes about like normal, and now we'll see if they elect to take a second gateway or if they're going to go ahead and gas up. And actually, look at this. I spoke too soon, I guess. Perhaps a 2-gate build with one of the gates in base, and actually this timing from Daddy is really cute, because Evil Eye is 2-gating, so that will help him. Daddy has done this after Evil Eye. Like, Evil Eye did the check for the initial one, and if he didn't see this probe coming in, if he saw the probe coming in, he'll get suspicious, be like, where'd it go? And to be honest, the fact that Daddy hasn't scouted might get suspicious. Now, he needs to go scout with the probe after he does this, I think, or else Evil Eye should get suspicious and say, why is there not a probe scouting my base? That's not normal. And I think he already is. Okay, so he is going to, well, I think he's going to find this. What? I have to see this vision here. What does he see? Did he somehow, oh my god. So he's just building a spotter pylon there, but he has not gotten suspicious. See, I would be getting maybe ever so slightly suspicious if I were him. But it looks like this gateway's going to get up, and we've got a gas steal here from Evil Eye. Of course, Daddy with 2 gateways now in the base is not going to be suspicious, and I think Evil Eye's got to get suspicious here. There's just a lot of things that should be making him ever so slightly uncomfortable, you know? He has only 1 gateway. He's completely ignoring the fact that his gas has been stolen with 1 gateway. There aren't many 1-gate slot expands in PvP. And with 3 gates, 2 of them in base, this is definitely a dangerous situation for Evil Eye. Especially if he doesn't spot it. I mean, obviously the zealots are going to be faster, but especially at this level, you know, 1 or 2 zealots in the middle line while also having to micro your own zealots to avoid losses can become really problematic. And even if he holds, which he should hold, he could end up losing a lot of probes, which wouldn't be the greatest of situations. And we can see that Daddy right now is doing a pretty decent job continuing probe production. So, you know, I'm not terribly worried about him dying quite yet, but oh, that's a little bit sloppy though, taking a few initial hits trying to walk up in there. But I'm more worried that Evil Eye could take some pretty decent economic damage from this. And oh, Evil Eye's got a probe over here, possibly just over here, or he's looking to do some strange expansion. He probably knows something's going on, right? Because there's a zealot in his base when he had his ramp held. And of course these two are going to come up at a very cheeky time, so now it is really going to come down to defense from Evil Eye. Daddy will probably win this fight because he has the probe helping out here, as long as the zealot hasn't taken any hits. And it looks like Evil Eye is doing a pretty good job right now collecting his units, although there are a lot of Zealots right now in the mineral line, although going straight into the mineral line is usually not the best of plays. Probes can do a pretty good job glitching out, and going to be drilling all over these Zealots, and it looks like numbers are here for Jordaddy, but with the probes adding damage, I think it's going to be Evil Eye who's going to take this fight. Nice capture on those probes. Oh, this guy tries to run away, and this is looking pretty well cleaned up. The execution just not there for Jordaddy. Mineral Line's dangerous place to engage in long-term fights, and of course he's done nothing about this gas. So with the Cybercore, I thought he built a Cybercore, no, but he's going to find this now, and with 4 Zealots against 2, Evil Eye is going to be able to take this down fairly easily. He will have to defend his mineral line a little bit longer, but should begin to kill that pylon, get rid of those gateways. And honestly, these Zealots are no longer a threat to Evil Eye. He's leaving 1 Zealot to work on the pylon. He's killing these Zealots off nicely. Jordaddy just not having the same level of control here as Evil Eye was holding this. Evil Eye actually like that core placement, kind of blocking things from running around behind the pylon. It does look like he may have lost the Zealot attacking the pylon. Either that or he had it on a control group and he came back here to fight. But either way, this is looking pretty held. He just needs to be careful here, not get lazy, not get sloppy and lose probes. But these Zealot numbers are way in favor of Evil Eye right now. Tech is in favor of Evil Eye, and there's just not a way for Jordaddy to get enough Zealots. I mean, we can see here it's like 6 or 7 Zealots for Evil Eye, just 3 for Jordaddy, and 1 extra gateway is not going to go over there. He's still trying to get probes, but with the tech coming up, Evil Eye is probably not even that worried about his probes right now, defending this comfortably with his massive Zealots. Oh no, this guy having a little bit of a glitch problem, but this is just cascading out of control right now for Jordaddy, who's going to need to think of something very clever if he wants to get into any sort of a decent position now. Of course, Dragoon's on the way. He'd absolutely have to cannon his ramp to live. He is now killing that assimilator, but I really can't envision how... I'm surprised Evil Eye hasn't now sent down like 3 Zealots here to kill this. I'm a little bit sad to see all 7 of these Zealots still defending the mineral line. 2 or 3 in the mineral line with the other 4 killing the gateways would be wonderful. He wouldn't have to keep worrying about pulling probes. He could consolidate a little bit easier, get rid of this, have him on just 1 gateway back home, and he's opting to expand. Okay, so he does have the forge. I missed that on first glance. So that is his 1 ticket to safety, I think, right now. And getting the Nexus up will give him an expansion, so that part is good. But Evil Eye is expanding himself, and given the quality of his defense, I'm guessing Evil Eye should actually, looking at probes, economically it's similar. Evil Eye is going to be way ahead in tech, though. So similar economies, but certainly much faster tech for Evil Eye right now, and he's finally going to get these gateways killed up. We can see Jordaddy has abandoned that one, is not going to produce any units from them, so we'll be on just 1 gateway. Good news here for Jordaddy is that with these bridges, it's pretty easy most of the time to hold on destination. I don't entirely like the slanted cannons. I would rather see them in a line at the bridges, but it will give him the opportunity to hold Dragoon pressure a little bit easier. However, if Evil Eye does opt for other tech, particularly Reaver tech or drops, it will be very problematic because the Dragoon count, especially off this 1 gateway, is just not going to be high enough to deal effectively and comfortably with a speed shuttle. It's possible if you're really on top of it and where it goes, but if Evil Eye does go for that tech route, it could be very problematic. But it looks like right now he just wants to add a 3rd gate. Nexus up, let's see, probe transfer has not happened yet, so Evil Eye might actually get mining from the expansion ever so slightly faster than Jordaddy. They're going to have almost identical expansion timings. Jordaddy is going to go ahead and go to 3 gateways as well, unintentionally matching Evil Eye's current gateway count. He does have the robo here now, and he is going for observers first. Guess that's a wise choice. He should have been paying attention to the simulator. We're not quite at a point where there would be DTs out yet, although he's had the core for a little bit. If he would have teched straight toward it, could be getting close. So Evil Eye is going to be playing it safe and then grabbing a forge as well. Okay, he's queuing up double obs, so I don't think we're going to see any sort of Reaver play, but he is going to charge in here. I doubt he has enough to break, especially if the ramp is held effectively, so I don't even think he's probably going to try to come across knowing there's 3 cannons. 3 gateways, Dragoon's pumping now for Jordaddy, who is adding a cannon to the main, which he pretty much has to do. He doesn't have observers, and he knows that Evil Eye has faster tech. He doesn't know what tech path Evil Eye has gone for, and if you don't build a cannon or 2 there, and someone drops a DT into your main, you basically just lose the game, because your main will die. And behind here, seeing that and seeing that, I am expecting that, and that suddenly makes the obs an extra cute play, because without the obs, these cannons aren't that great because they don't see over the wall, if I recall correctly. Evil Eye, yeah, they won't hit anything. However, well, we probably don't want to watch the game like that, do we? However, if an obs comes over here and just parks itself right over these cannons, then suddenly he can't mine from there. And he's only got one Dragoon out right now. Oh, he's going back into Zealots. Oh, that is going to be rough. But with only one... Oh, he's got 4. Which is still going to make those cannons a huge pain in the butt to deal with. I mean, it's a lot of expense, but it's going to completely shut down mining at the natural. The cannon is going up here. Will the observer... Okay, it is here. He just needs to be careful. Okay, good. Meanwhile, back at home, grabbing a few Dragoons, and we'll see how the reactions go. Oh, okay, the cannons are firing now. Jordaddy is suddenly going to be very sad, and this is prompting him to... I thought it was prompting him to move out. Probe is going to try to go out here. It should go absolutely... I lied. It's going to get out just fine, and unfortunately his main is going to have to be evacuated. Interestingly, these cannons are... Oh, that's actually a nice kill. Now, if he picked up on this, he could send his probes back to mine ever so briefly if he picked up on the fact that the obs died, but chances are he's just not willing to risk that. We can see a DT coming out, and it looks like maybe he's going to pick a fight here. And if he had fast Zealots, I would be a little concerned for Evil Eye, but with the slow Zealots, no danger of a surround, and there is a DT in here, but of course an obs there for Evil Eye. So Evil Eye, I think, is just going to walk home, and unless the DT pulls off a wonderful blocking, which it actually could really be annoying, but it looks like he just wants to run past here. And oh, there's actually not an obs back at home, so this DT could... Oh, the main's pretty cannoned up, so I guess the DT not that much of a danger, unless the army stops to fight here, and Evil Eye is going to go ahead and destroy this army. Jordaddy should pull back from that. He is still not mining from that base. He really ought to pull back from here, but the DT... Oh no, there's a cannon back there. Never mind, the DT can't do anything. So Jordaddy absolutely needs to pull back from here, but unfortunately, donating more or less his entire army here to Evil Eye, who will soon take out that Dragoon, no problems there. And Jordaddy is in a really rough spot. He's unable to mine. Well, he's just, I guess, now noticed he can mine from the natural. I would love to see another obs come down here from Evil Eye and keep the mining down. It looks like Evil Eye feels like he's done enough damage. He wants to go for the killing blow. Can he make it happen? I think he probably can, and it looks like Jordaddy's just going to give up the fight right now and says GG. Evil Eye taking set 1. And I just remembered I need to switch what I am using because that has replay progress bars. And replay progress bars make things slightly less interesting. So let me find MCA Launcher, which is right there. And we'll run things... What? Oh, I must have double ran it. Shit. There we go. Alright, we want IC Cup. We've got shitty plugin, right? We have auto replay. I don't need Twitch chat right now. And window mode. And start. Sorry guys if that makes the stream black. I apologize. I think it probably does. We can do this in the meantime while we're waiting, so you're not staring at a black screen. And where is it? It should be here. It's taking its time to start. It's thinking. There we go. Now, with any luck, I should be able to switch over, and bingo. Yeah, remastered will be nice when it's out. It's going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see to what extent you get an influx of new players. I can really see it going either way. I guess it depends on how much it's publicized and how people receive it. Like, it could just be some people from like Starcraft 2 and other things try to play it, and the player base, like, I don't know, goes up by 50% or maybe even doubles for a little while. Or it could be a pretty big event. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. But I'm definitely just looking forward to the support, the not having to deal with IC Cup hosting problems. There'll be some nice features from that for sure. And it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. Replays. CPL Week 4. Evil Eye versus Jordaddy Set 2. And now we should have a blocked replay progress bar. So going into Game 2, Evil Eye who is our orange Protoss here in the top right-hand corner of what looks to be Fighting Spirit, is up 1-0 against our yellow Protoss here in the bottom left-hand corner, known as Jordaddy. Let's see. There's ways to move some of this stuff around. Cool. So, it's just a little too much, especially with obs in the game to look at. Are kind of like voyeurism, says Evil Eye. Feeling a little bit chatty early on. So, Jordaddy opted for some pretty aggressive play in game 1, but didn't quite work out from him. Control just wasn't sharp enough to really get anything done. I think with better control, he certainly could have caused Evil Eye some problems, but between getting his gas stolen, not progressing with his tech whatsoever, and failing to do really any damage, Evil Eye just had a pretty comfortable cruise kind of game. No real threat posed. So both players are opting to go with very early pylon scouts. Obviously both of them still a little bit suspicious of each other, so to speak. Especially in PvP, that's a very early scout. And it looks like, yeah, Evil Eye is just going to go through the center of the map. I guess Evil Eye feeling pretty confident. He's been scouting very anti-cheese. That seems to be his main concern from Jordaddy. Probably ever so slightly rattled from that first game, thinking, how did I miss that probe? Because he scouted there. He probably deduced that it came in a bit later, but probably thinking, I may have to adjust that in the future, because that could have been a problem. Whereas Jordaddy just doing the normal scouting, but very early getting a gateway, and it looks like he's going to grab his gas, so we're looking at a little more of a standard style PvP here from Jordaddy. Whereas Evil Eye is going to play 2-gate again. It's crossbond, so he won't be particularly thrilled with that. His 2-gate shouldn't really be able to do any damage, and then it'll just be interesting to see how he elects to play. Most common I face these days is just to do 2-gate, 5 Zealot, expand, although some Protosses will play 2 gates into tech. A little less common, but have seen it. And it looks like Evil Eye is, interestingly enough, going to choose to chase this probe. Evil Eye, known for not being a high APM player, but also for being a pretty efficient, smart player that focuses on the right things at good times. So perhaps that contributes into his decision. This isn't something you'd normally see. A little bit of a waste to have one probe entirely off the minerals just to chase another probe, but if he's worried about being cheesed and is trying to keep his own probe alive, could be something he's doing just to prevent having to worry about that. Because if you get a little too focused on trying to micro this guy against your Zealot and the other dude's probe is attacking the probes in your mineral line, you can lose one, and that's obviously not something you want to happen. 2 Zealots out right now for Evil Eye, and that's a little interesting that 2 Zealots are out right now. Normally, played regularly. I wonder if this was a 9-9 or a 9-10 or something like that, because played normally in 10-12 gate, you'll have 1 Zealot pop, and then you'll be at like 16 supply, you put down pylon, and then Zealots 2 and 3 pop in tandem. But in this case, he's got 2 at the same time, so I guess I should have paid a little more attention to the build right at the start. And that is a very fast expansion. So this is going to be a 4-slot expand here from Evil Eye. Either that or Evil Eye just didn't opt to make the first Zealot out of his gateway and just waited for the second one to finish and did Zealots in tandem. So definitely the expand variety here from Evil Eye. And we've got 2 Zealots on the ramp. We should have we've got 3 Zealots coming out. Well, against 2 Zealots, obviously this should do no damage, provided Jordaddy shows a level of control, and actually Evil Eye is actually going to go up the ramp. Whoa! Holy moly, that is feeling very defensive. Oh, this is sloppy micro, though, from Jordaddy, and Evil Eye showing decent micro. Needs to target down the correct Zealot. He's attacking the wrong one. It's like 2 hits away from dying. And what just happened here? This Zealot... Oh, he just got the probe. Never mind. I saw something die. Alright, so he's going to rig in the shields a little bit, and now he just needs to run around. I really don't like this decision to give up the ramp like that. A little bit of micro, he could have held that ramp easily. Now he needs to get back in position on the ramp, because if he keeps letting these Zealots run around, they're just going to have opportunities to do damage, disrupt his mining, and generally put him in a spot he doesn't want. And this Zealot is going to go ahead and walk in. Evil Eye will respond, and now he's going to have to back up, and no more Zealot pressure coming across the map as Evil Eye transitions into this expansion into his tech, getting both the Cybernetics Core and the Forge, seeing that Protoss has tech, not knowing what that tech is yet, and it looks like that tech is indeed DT, so this Forge definitely going to be a necessity. Otherwise, you would just outright die. Looks like he's going to chase these 2 Zealots away and then start to move out across the map, which is an interesting decision. And if he was really aggressive with this and got over here quick enough with good control, he could, in theory, try to deny these cannons and either attack at the same time and try to slip a DT past, or just prevent the cannons going up. But it looks like he will be a little bit too slow getting across the map for that. But had he gone for a few more Dragoons a little bit faster and gotten rid of Evil Eye's units faster with this quick expansion, that could have been a concern for Evil Eye, but will not be an issue in this particular game. And Evil Eye is just going to retreat. It looks like maybe he's trying to go around and still pick off one of these Zealots, but I don't think either of them are hurt enough for two Dragoons to snipe them off. He does get a few hits, but he's not going to be able to walk in here. He needs to react fairly quickly. Good reaction. Doesn't take too much damage on that Dragoon. And continues to rally up some units. Should have a DT coming here. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. So we should be starting DTs right now. Alright, there we go. And that should transition into an expansion of his own. So it's going to be Evil Eye with the faster Nexus, but Jordaddy with the faster tech for sure. And then we'll have to see, a lot of times it's popular to go ahead and get the DTs, get the High Templar out, and transition into, 5 or 6 gates and go for a pretty strong mid-game sort of attack with a lot of storms. Oh, we got somebody trying to run in here. It was probably a Dragoon not on hold position, because I doubt he solo attacked that with one Dragoon intentionally. In the meantime, Evil Eye is going to go ahead and just start massing up Dragoons, getting a very fast +1 too. And a Forge coming out here for Jordaddy, perhaps as an anti-DT measure, as Evil Eye now has his tech out, so it's very possible, from Jordaddy's point of view, that Evil Eye could be going for a Dark Templar. And there is the Robo for Jordaddy, and this is hopefully not going to try to run in here. Okay, good. I like this putting it to third. Able to deny that when the probe comes on over. He's sending 2 DTs there, which seems to be a bit overkill. I suspect he's going to leave a DT there. Hopefully he won't leave both of the DTs there. What is... okay, maybe he's just trying to see how many cannons, the position of the army. With 2 DTs, if the army was really out of position, you could slip one in. And Evil Eye is ever so slightly worried about that possibility, as he is adding a cannon in his main. Jordaddy leaving 2 DTs over there. I'm still not 100% thrilled with that decision, unless there's a shuttle coming over. First High Templar out, second High Templar out. Okay, we got a shuttle, so that could be more interesting. It looks like he's going to opt for Storm. Storm drop here. And, wait, can he see these? No, he can't. Wait, he should not retreat these. He should just go kill these units. What? I think he wants to try to run by. I think. But he's going to go ahead and attack and alert Evil Eye to the presence of these DTs, and that is going to send Evil Eye immediately scattering back home. So I very much like that Evil Eye is being cognizant and a little bit worried about these DTs. Now all he needs to do is pick off the probe, which is going to continue over here to its death. There we go. Probe is picked off. So no super fast third for Evil Eye off of 4 gateways. And where is the shuttle? Oh, there's the shuttle. Okay, so we are going to have 2 DTs. But Evil Eye is very much suspicious and wise to this, although he's got ops coming. These 2 DTs are not a threat at all. They will deny a pylon, but they will not be able to do anything else as that ops pops out, especially the cannon. We can see the Dragoons are there. DT is going to get in a few hits before the obs comes over, and there they go. DTs are now dead. Had he been a little bit faster, those DTs could have been a problem. But Evil Eye defends without any real difficulty. Looks like the first of the second gas now getting mined for Jordaddy. Definitely a lot more gas mined for Evil Eye. They should be at about the same place on these assimilators. Actually, wait, what? What? Does he only have 2 on gas? No? Oh, never mind. That makes perfect sense. Sorry, I was seeing it backwards. I was thinking Jordaddy, who had the faster tech, had mined less gas, but I was just looking at it backwards. And now Evil Eye goes ahead and puts up that 3rd base, and he's on the way across the map. Quite a bit of units. Does he have a citadel? Does he have leg speed? Okay, so he's gonna have a bunch of slow lots attacking here. There are no cannons though here. So, and the shuttle is out right now with storms, right? So there are no storms here to defend which could be dangerous. It looks like we have 7 or 8 Dragoons here against... So, yeah, definitely a much bigger army here for Evil Eye. Storm Drop's going off now, doing a decent damage to the probes, but is there enough to hold off this attack? This is a pretty greedy Storm Drop timing. A lot of times you need that Storm at home to defend, but it looks like Evil Eye is taking some hits as he comes across. But of course he also has these Zealots to get in here, do damage, tank. And is he just going to be able to run Jordaddy over? The probe pull coming pretty quick, but it looks like Evil Eye, as of right now, has enough units. But there is not an Ops here. We need to see Panic DTs coming out from Jordaddy. Probes probably need to go back. Slow Lots coming out. Not the best at this particular time. And I don't know why he's making so many Slow Lots, especially without leg speed developing. You shouldn't really make Zealots until your leg speed is about half done. And yeah, just too many units. And Evil Eye mows over Jordaddy. As a little bit unfortunate decision making there to take both of his Templar for Storm. Probably should have made Panic DTs during that attack too, and he would have been safe for a little bit, but 1 or 2 Storms on those Dragoons coming across the bridge would likely have shut down that attack in its entirety from Evil Eye. But the greed not paying off, so obviously Game 3 is a dummy set, and Team takes a 1-0 advantage in the series. So we're moving on to Series 2, which is going to feature Fozik, the Terran player, against Pro Forward, who I'm like 99.9% sure is a Zerg. But yeah, there we go. Pro Forward is our green Zerg, spawning at the top position of Destination. And at the bottom position of Destination as the red Terran, we have Fozik Payne. Fozik, one of the stronger players in the league. He has been practicing really hard. I believe he was one of the stronger players to start with, but he's arguably the strongest player, I think, in the league right now, as he has hit C+ with his Terran, and is generally doing quite well in most practice matches and such things. I forget his overall record in the league, but I don't think he's dropped too many games. I think just 1 or 2. So certainly the favorite, especially since I believe Pro Forward is a true D-level Zerg. And given that TVZ is generally something that Zergs find tricky, and I know Fozik is very confident in his TVZ. He always jokes about how that's an easy matchup. And of course, this is Destination, a map which Mech is very popular on. So we'll see if Fozik opts for that. It's been interesting. We've been watching a lot of games here in CPL on the past week or two that were on Destination, and we saw many bio builds, and I was suspecting that's just because, let's face it, it's been, what, almost 10 years, 8 years, 9 years since Destination was a big deal map, and I think some of these players are just new enough to Brood War that they don't know the history of Destination. And of course, if you're a D-level player, or maybe even a C-level player, you don't necessarily identify right away, oh yeah, bio is going to have like major problems on this map, and so we've been seeing a lot of bio plays. So it'll be interesting to see if Fozik, as a little bit more experienced player, is aware of that and opts to play mech, or if he still chooses to play bio. And we do see a gas. So already we've got an indication that this will probably be mech, or of course also somewhat popular on this map, 2-port Wraith. Oh, a little bit of kissing of the SCV and the drone there. And the drone's going to wander on up to the wall. Nope, not going to harass the SCV building the barracks. See if he decides to go back there, but either way, he's going to get the barracks up without problem. 12 hatch down for Pro Forward, who's going to go for a very quick pool and gas before, well, obviously pool before 3rd hatchery, but also gas before 3rd hatchery. So we are looking at some sort of 2-hatch play coming up here from Pro Forward. Tech for that 2-hatch play as of yet unknown. And there is the factory, and then we'll wait to see what happens with that factory, get an indication of whether Fozik wants to play Wraiths or a more traditional mech game. And, oh, that gives us an indication. So, alright, so it is happening from this side. So, unless Pro Forward is just really distracted, he will see this at some point, likely soon, before the minerals are mined out, as he manages the drones. But if he's not paying attention, this could cause him a lot of heartache, especially if he puts a Sunken here to defend the mineral line and the ramp, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 vultures come in from the back door. I mean, that is almost certainly what Fozik intends to do. We have not seen a transfer of drones yet, so Pro Forward is not wise to this. Will he notice this? Will these Lings on A move, they got to see it now. He's got to be looking. They're over there. when he goes to look at them, he can't miss this. But will it have mined the minerals by now? It takes a little while to mine, but oh my god, it's going to be close, but not going to get it. Alright, so Fozzik is forced to abandon that. One thing I'm actually curious about is how does that work, the mining of that? The fact that he's mined it for a while, if he comes back with a different SCV, does he have to start all over from the beginning? Or does it go from, is there like a progress feature within the minerals and the map editor? And oh, that's an awkward rally. Alright, so we have the Vulture out right now, and oh, it is going to be Wraith play from Fozzik. So do we have a Hydroden? We do have a Hydroden. So a little bit of two-hatch Lurker, but of course, against the Wraiths, he is going to need to make a few Hydras. Okay, so if it's a stack of 0 mineral patches, I guess that means they mine out, and they would just be gone. So it would progress. Oh, he's going to get a drone here with the awkward Rally Marine, and he's forcing a huge pull, so this is actually a pretty nice win for Fozzik with this one Marine doing some decent damage. And all of a sudden the Vulture is here, and the situation could be very... Oh, never mind. Hydras are out. The situation shouldn't be that bad. Definitely going to prompt Fozzik to run into the main, and he is upgrading straight to Lurker, so he may not know, and probably, in fact, he almost certainly doesn't know about the race. And it looks like Fozzik wants to go from drones. I'm surprised he's not just going to kill the Lings, but I think he's thinking more Hydra will pop out and he won't be able to do damage, so he might as well go for drones while he can. But does opt to eliminate those Lings. And now we'll see if he can get any more pickoffs here with this Vulture. I mean, 1 kill is already okay, and it looks like that's going to be what he's restricted to. So just 1 drone kill on that Vulture, 2 Ling kills, I think. And then, of course, the Lurkers, well, it's actually not mech, although, yes, you do have to wonder about the fact that it could be mech, and he's still going to go with a Lurker opening. Although, if he's suspecting or knows it's Wraiths, I have, on occasions, seen Lurker openings bust the front door and cause Terran a bunch of problems when Lurkers get in the front. So now the Wraiths are out for Fozzik. And Pro Forward starting... Oh, that is going to make him oh so sad. So he's either going to have to unmorph these Lurkers and start defending with them, or just accept that he is going to lose... Oh, he does have 2, but that he's going to lose some serious drones and overlords to these initial Wraiths. He reacts very fast, though. Starts to move those Hydras almost from the moment the Wraiths are over the creep, but of course they've already gone and picked off a drone. Looks like more Hydras are being made here from Pro Forward, who's going to be playing a very aggressive game. 3rd Wraith coming up for the rally here. Going to probably take a few hits from the Hydra. Cloak about halfway done. Which is also a concern. If he doesn't get those overlords safe, then he will not have any sort of vision to deal with the cloak. Any sort of detection to deal with the cloak, rather. Would be a more accurate way of saying it. And the Wraiths circling around the base. They should find this overlord. Fozzik having a moment where he's looking elsewhere, probably at his front. I did mention that this could happen, and of course he hasn't built any Marines. A little bit of an awkward tension somewhere else moment. Another rallied Wraith. Alright, Fozzik collecting the Wraiths. Now he's pulling back. This Lurker's like forgotten amongst the barracks. Is he getting slow drop? Is it possible? Because he is going over here. He might just have drop. That looks very drop. Oh, he's got drop. He's got drop. So he's going to go ahead and try to assassinate this Lurker. Will he notice it? But at the same time, this is distracting his attention, allowing overlords to be dropped over here. Fozzik hasn't noticed yet. Wraiths have not turned around. 2 Lurkers coming into the mineral line. Will Fozzik react? Oh my god, he doesn't have vision of minerals. These Lurkers are doing a lot of damage. Fozzik giving a little oh shit grin. Wraiths are coming back. He doesn't have a scanner though. I think the Wraiths are going to have to leave and just let the drones do damage. This is a really interesting situation right now. He's going to try to get the scanner up. The Lurker should probably target the scanner from going up. A little bit unafraid, but with nothing out, he could just unburrow and try to hunt SCVs, although probably the SCVs realistically could just run away. And he's having a little bit of difficulty deciding what he wants to do. I guess he figures with the scanner not being targeted now, he's going to go ahead and try to clean up these Lurkers with scans. His wall is still intact, so that is good for him. He's cleared out... Oh, he hasn't cleared out the Overlord. Wow. He must have just gone straight up over the base. I think he has enough race to get both. It'll be close, but I think he'll clean them both up. Yes, he will. So he can go back to mining. What are we looking at for Fozzik? It looks like about 9 SCVs. So Pro Forward definitely the better economy. Okay, he's found this Overlord. I think now he's going to kill it off for sure. Does not want to have more Lurkers dropped in his base. So that is it for drops. The only way that Pro Forward is getting in at this point is if he busts the front door. Wraith Protection stop for a moment. He's getting a tank out to help defend. And now he's going to come up and harass with the Wraiths. And there are only 3 Hydra, okay, 6 Hydra to defend, but of course they're slow Hydra with no range to defend against what is approaching a control group of Wraiths, and he might just lose the Hydra here, because that is a lot of Wraiths, can easily micro down those Hydra, although a missed shot there for Fozzik, and oh no, the Hydra are not getting grouped up very nicely at all. And I think Fozzik is just going to try to kill them, and now Pro Forward doesn't really have a way to defend this, and of course he's very distracted at home. Both of these, I think the tank kind of wants to get at these lurkers, but it can't, so we're having a bit of an awkward, nobody's paying attention to this side of the map, everyone's paying attention to this side of the map moment. He's going to fly right, no, he's going to go ahead and kill those Overlords off, and of course that means he can also cloak and come in here, dive in, kill this Overlord, really cloak and go for it. He's obviously controlling pretty heavily there. He's just going for a Hydra. Now he's going for drones. Finally, these lurkers burrow. The tank sure needs to move away from there, but it is just busy derping around. It looks like it's trying to dodge spines, but I think the lurkers are just focused on taking out the front, and now Fozzik's like, oh, okay, I'm coming back again to defend. Hole breached into the wall. 2 tanks are out. How many scans does Fozzik have? The answer to that is just 1 scan. He doesn't want to burn it just yet. I think he wants to wait and see with the lurkers. He's going to run the SCVs away. They do a better job getting out of the mineral line this time. However, still taking a lot of damage. If only Pro Forward were flooding Lings right now, I think Fozzik would have a real problem on his hand, although there are a lot of Wraiths to help with this. Scan goes down. I think there might just be enough DPS to clean them. Oh, no, there's not. He can't get them all, and he's going to lose his scanner. That is definitely not going to get another scan, so Fozzik is out of scan. How will he react to this? Going to lift that CC off, has to save it. And again, this is where if I were Fozzik, I might go back and just try to kill these last few drones. You can see Pro Forward knows he's hurt his economy, but the economy for Pro Forward right now is really, really weak. But I don't think Fozzik can do anything here. Although, I guess with 2 tanks, can he rebuild the commands? That's an interesting idea. Because these are both very low health. Yeah, they probably can't unburrow. So this is a good decision by Fozzik. I really like this. Just relanding the command center, knows he can't burrow. And Fozzik is just going to stay here and clean up these 2 lurkers and re-secure his front. I'd love to see him scouting a little bit more, but as an observer, we can see here that once Fozzik cleans this up, he's in a fine position. He's got a more terrifying army by far, and he's saved most of his SCVs. He's still got 10 SCVs, so he's got the economic lead right now. So again, the position pretty bad for Pro Forward, despite the significant amount of damage, and somewhat bravely, Fozzik elects to lift off immediately. Although I guess that actually this might be I wonder this might actually be a faster way to get another scan, which would make its own sense. Yeah, that's going to be a faster way to get a scan. Okay, so that's just outright another really nice decision there by Fozzik, because not only does that give him a scan, it also lets him get to mining a little bit faster. Lurker burrowing in the main, not really sure why it's burrowing. Probably just doesn't know exactly what Fozzik is doing, although he should know what Fozzik has. But there's no real advantage to having that lurker burrowed there right now. And 2 more lurkers coming out, but he's going to force the burrow here. He should have a scan now. Should be pretty much done back at home. But probably doesn't want to waste it yet. So 2 more lurkers are going to come down the base. He's going to lose his natural hatchery to these Wraiths. It looks like there's no intent to defend with these Hydra. Still just 8 drones for Pro Forward against the 11 SCVs from Fozzik, who is beginning to regenerate his economy. These last 2 lurkers, wide open door here, but with the 2 tanks and scan, if the Wraiths are in position, those lurkers will absolutely be killed off. And once, oh, they're not over here, so it'll be interesting. Can he get another round of lurkers in? Oh no, he's not paying attention. So a scan will lead to the death of this lurker. Although, yep, there he goes. Boom. 1 more shot, and down goes the lurker. Now Fozzik, I would say, has control of this game with an iron fist. Pro Forward is just trapped in his base. He has a few Hydra, but lurkers are not great against tanks at all. So, and a few Hydra, of course, you know, and only 2 slow Overlords. I don't even think he could deal with Cloak, even if he had enough Hydra to push things back. Fozzik going to do a little check for hidden bases real quick, splitting up the Wraiths toward each target. Also possibly looking for Overlords, which he will find. And down goes that Overlord over on this side of the map, laying over here. And not much left. I wonder what Pro Forward's plan going forward is. He's going to get some Overlord speed, but let's face it, I don't think at this point I'm having a hard time thinking of something that Pro Forward could do. I just don't see any way he could possibly attack. I mean, 5 or 6 Hydra are going to get just decimated against the Wraiths, and obviously the Lurkers are completely useless. Fozzik has saved up. He'll have at least 2 scans by the time anything important happens. Wraiths are regathering themselves here. And somehow Fozzik pulls a win out of the hat. Alright, Wraith's gonna go in. They're gonna pick off a few drones. Alright, so he's picking up maybe one last drop. One last attempt to just drop the base, kill the scanner, end the game that way. I guess that's something, but it hinges on not getting spotted by the Wraiths. And it wouldn't work with just 2 overlords. I think he'd really need to take everything. I mean, if he drops 2 lurkers, it's not going to get him back in the game. But that is definitely what he is headed out to do right now. Wraith's just kind of having a moment where they are going to chill. And there, of course, there'll be 2 scans when those 2 lurkers get there. So it should be very easy for Fozzik to clean them up. Where are his tanks? They are all at the natural, which actually is going to give him 3. No, it's going to give him 2 scans. The Wraith's coming back. Overlord coming in. Supply depot going up over there. Tank pops out, but everything is at the natural, so he could get some SCV kills. Unfortunately for him, his economy is just quite frail. So even if he kills half the SCVs, he's still in equal position and still doesn't have an army. Alright, here come 2 lurkers coming in. Burrow goes down. Reaction time from Fozzik pretty decent. Looks like he'll lose like 1 SCV, and now the lurkers are not, they're attacking the comstat, but he's got a lot of scans. He will clean those up pretty easily and quickly here. Shouldn't even have to burn another scan, so that is down, and that leaves Pro Forward with about 7 Hydras in his main base. I mean, at this point, Fozzik can push if he wants to and very easily kill him. I don't know if that's what he's intending to do, but certainly 1 tank thinking about going across the bridges, deciding not to, and it looks like Fozzik just defending in the main, playing this very, very safe. Got a few too many guys on gas. Looks like he's starting to take some of them off now. Still has 4 on gas, but that's alright. Getting that second gas up. Should be at a point now where he's got enough SCVs to start adding more factories. But a ton of tanks out right now, and it looks like Wraith's headed out back across the map. Hydra is still just chilling. Pro Forward adding another creep colony. I'm not sure why he's adding that. He's seen that there's a decent number of tanks out. Creep colonies just won't help you when Terran is making tanks. They really do lose their value, their efficiency. He's protected from the Wraith harass. I'm really surprised he's making a spore colony. There's no need for a spore there. Like everything important. Maybe he's worried about losing his Hydra den, but he's got enough Hydras right now that the Wraiths can't just come kill the Hydras. Alright, we got Hydra speed. We made 2 more lurkers. Is he going to try one last drop? Yes, he is. He's going out. Is he going to move the Hydras with it? Will the Wraiths be in the right position to find this drop? Is an interesting question. Or is this going to be a drop attack? I'm not sure. Wraiths have not seen anything, but are moving back down. They actually missed the spotting ling over here, too. I wonder if that ling was intentionally a spotting ling, or if it just got ran over there to avoid the Wraiths. But either way, Fozzik is picking a pretty decent time to come back with the Wraiths, but we've got a lot of tank siege in the natural. 8 Hydras, 9 Hydras are not going to do a whole heck of a lot against 4 siege tanks, especially in a position as good as that. And immediately siege tank shots going off. Pro Forward committing to this, but now the Wraiths are there. They cloak. That is it for the Hydras. What? How the... I don't know how they saw that Wraith. That was really bizarre. He's trying to chase down this one Wraith, and he will take it out. The lurkers are being forced to drop. That is done. Scan goes off. I don't think he has enough Wraiths to kill both of them with 1 scan, but he probably has more than 1 scan. So, oh, no, he's got... I was right. He doesn't quite have enough. Lurker survives with 8 health. He's rallying 4 Hydras across, but he has no units. I think we can call him dead at this point. I'm not really a big fan of prematurely calling players dead, but at this point, I really think he's dead. He's got... Yeah, and there we go. GG. Fozzik will take game 1 over Pro Forward, though, who made a good showing of it. And it looks like Corn Fan has gotten his answer to what we are watching here. And I will go ahead and get ready to go into game 2. But before I do that, I'm going to grab a quick glass of water. All right, so let's see the question. Are they still recruiting players? At this point, we are about 6 weeks in. So there are 10 weeks, I think, and then playoffs. So you might ask. I would either ask in the CPL thread on Team Liquid, or I would join the Discord and ask in there. Both of those would be decent options. I would say I can't give you an answer. I know over the last few weeks, a couple players here and there were picked up. So if you're like a D-, D+, C- type player, and are interested in playing, I would go to one of those places and inquire. Worst case is they tell you no, right? Best case is you're in. Alright, so going into Game 2 between Fozic and Pro Forward on Jade. In the top left-hand corner, as our purple Zerg, we have Pro Forward. And on the right side, as our blue Terran player, we have Fozic from teamn, and of course Pro Forward playing for Team Magical Ponies. And if Fozic can take the win here, this will be a nice position for Team, as they will be up 2-0 in the series. Now, of course, Jade, for those of you that aren't familiar with the map, it has, honestly, in some ways, some similarities to Fighting Spirit. You have a natural, you have sort of a high ground connected over to a third with a ramp, and then you've got some key differences. The center is ramped. Of course, this area coming off your third is ramped, and your main base is ramped, but unlike most maps, your main base is ramped below your natural, which can definitely change things a little bit. One simple example is if you are playing ZVT in this case, or I guess you could say TVZ, and you put Marines on the ramp, and Zerglings come to attack, well, your Marines are going to be on low ground, Lings are on high ground, which means your Marines miss half the time, which allows a fast pool to be significantly more dangerous because your Marines are only going to hit it half the time. So the Lings have the opportunity to either pick off more SCVs if you're blocking the ramp, or if you're not blocking, it can be a pretty dangerous situation. Of course, because of the geometry and the way things work out, it can make it harder to defend a ramp with lurkers for Zerg later on. Defending a third a little bit trickier. And actually something I don't know is, are lurker spines affected by mischance from low ground? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. At least that would be my feel from when I attack and have been like dark swarmed and trying to fight tanks on the high ground. But I don't want to call that. Maybe someone knows for certain. But if so, that would really add to the difficulty in defending, because then 2 or 3 lurkers below a ramp go from being unbreakable to you have a very good chance of breaking them, because if they're missing, all it takes is 1 lurker to miss and you've got some Marines in, and then you've got your spread going on. And someone saying they are, someone saying they aren't, so yeah. Obviously, you're going to have vision issues too, that's a good point. Stuff can start running down before the lurkers get a chance to attack if you don't have vision there. And it looks like, oh no, Fozic is not opting for a standard game at all. Fozic is opting for 2 racks. In base 2 racks. He says TT, I guess because this was scouted quickly? I'm not exactly sure why. And it looks like this was a hatch first from Pro Forward, who is again going to go for that fast 2 base tech. Second drone, third drone, so going to get his gas. And will we see a bunker attempt here from Fozic? Doesn't look like it. Marines are not coming across the map. Of course, Lings would be out, so it's unlikely that would do much at this point, but with 2 barracks, pressure across the map can still be dangerous if Zerg doesn't make a good response to it, doesn't make enough Lings. And so far, he certainly has not made enough Lings. It doesn't seem like Fozic... Actually, Fozic is lifting this barracks off, so I guess that's going to reduce the chance. So maybe that was just Fozic's way of playing things a little bit safer, since it doesn't look like he wants to apply any pressure. Maybe he made an extra pair now. No, he did not. So only 4 Lings. So had Fozic moved out across the map right now, he could have caused Pro Forward some worry and either forced out more Lings than Pro Forward might have liked, or forced out a Sunken, both of which would have been nice from him. But he was not privy to the fact that Pro Forward had only made 4 lings and thus didn't push out across the map. Alright, we got transfer of SCVs. Looks like it is... Ooh, it's a little bit early, I think. Let's see. Do I know Jade as well as I think I know? Oh, actually, never mind. Never mind. He's going to go ahead and pressure, which makes sense. You know, he's seen 4 lings and nothing but drones, so the situation is about to get really scary. And if these aren't... Oh, no! Disaster for Pro Forward as he loses all of his lings, but... No, he loses all of his lings. Oh, God. He needs to sunken up fat. I don't even think sunkens are enough, though. They will not... no, they're not going to be sunkens for sure by the time the Marines get there. He needs to make lings out of this base. Actually, he's making Hydra. Oh, that is... Okay, he's making lings here. I understand why he wants to make Hydra, but I think right now... Fozzik is giving him some time, though. It will be close. There will not be sunkens, though, and I think the Marines will be able to break through it. He goes immediately the first one. Good response with the drones off the line. There might actually be enough here to hold, and just in time, he's able to get that sunken. Will he come back for the 8 HP? Nah, at this point, you can't, and a good save there by Pro Forward. I think, honestly, Fozzik collecting himself there gave him just enough time, but you can't really fault him. It can be a little bit, it's not, you know, usually good to run in willy-nilly, but in that case, I think that extra 5-10 seconds of gathering gave Pro Forward just enough time to hold on and stay alive. And we are going to get up a factory here, so we're going to have some pretty fast vessel tank pressure coming from Fozzik. And in the meanwhile, which I guess... Oh, is that 1 too many on gas? Yeah, that's 4 on gas. Alright, so getting low star gas. Lings running in here. They need to turn around right now. Can he even get 1 kill? Nope, he pulls back, though. Losing about 3 lings. Getting those scanners up. And the thing that makes this response good, he knows it's 2 hatch. He knows there's going to be fast lurker drops, but he knows there's going to be fast lurkers. So if you get a science vessel out quickly, then you're not as desperately worried about scans and detection and things like that. And you'll probably see Fozzik move out across the map here fairly soon, as you usually don't want to let Zerg have free position and just set up his lurkers outside your base. However, in this case, if Fozzik moves out too quickly, then his man will be very exposed to drops. Now he's going to get this Overlord, which is really nice. Of course, you can see he's waiting here, so the Overlord has no chance to run away. And that is a bit of a bummer. In fact, he still got this one. But seeing that is a big mistake from Pro Forward, I must say. He obviously wanted to drop the lurkers in there. He'd sent them over there. So to leave the Overlord sitting in Fozzik's base as opposed to outside of it definitely made this a lot better for Fozzik. Now he doesn't have, even if he didn't know it was coming, he's not going to have to worry about an annoying drop into his base. He still might have to be concerned about a drop into the natural, but that's usually not as lethal as lurkers getting here and burrowing themselves in the main, and of course it takes away any potential of a simultaneous double drop with lurkers in the natural and hitting the transfer path in the main. And now, yep, Fozzik's going to move across the map, killing off a few of these lings here as Pro Forward runs away, making 3 lurkers back at home, which he will need to defend. And probably morphing lurkers over here. He's actually going to try to get another Overlord over here, though. Which, I guess he does have a path to do. And Fozzik is still completely unaware that this is happening. Perhaps not expecting it to happen 2 games in a row. And we can see he's either a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit suspicious, or just doesn't feel like he's gotten good scans to identify. Oh, if he scanned this, though, this might actually prompt him to move across the map, because he'd say, hey, Zerg's building Sunkens, means he probably doesn't have a lot of links. He's scared of my Marine force, so I'm going to move across the map and just kind of contain him. But I think he's still a little bit worried, and of course, we do have these lurkers getting picked up over here, and yeah, he sees this Overlord. I think that's one of the things that has him a little bit, whatever he is, coming back here. Now this guy sneaking over. Let's see how quickly Fozzik will respond to this. Yeah, you can see that Overlord. He's going to start getting a turret over here. Does he have anything in the main? No, he does not. Alright, he can see the Overlord now. Does he actually see it? That is really nice paying attention if he saw that. Oh, that is really good. Fozzik totally on top of that. He saw that almost from the first moment. He's even got a bunker built over here. He is super prepared for this, and this is not going well for Pro Forward at all. As long as there's a decent split here, and actually he's targeting SCVs. Okay, Fozzik has to move back. He's got plenty of scans. I think he just wants to use the tank, though. Not even going to risk the Marines. Setting up the tank for siege. No Hydras over here, so no real danger. That Overlord will die. He runs in. He's not even going to lose a single Marine, so that does absolutely nothing for Pro Forward. Handled expertly by Fozzik. Good reactions. Good control decisions. no losses. And, of course, 2 factory tanks. He does need a vessel if he really wants to push. It's pretty hard to push and do it against scans. Now, if Zerg were to sit totally back home, it could be a problem. But I imagine Fozzik is going to sit tight until he gets scans. Although the fact that he's not building a starport makes me a little less sure of that. He's... Wait, I thought I heard something. Oh, he's probably taking the Marines out of that bunker, yeah. That bunker was pretty cute. Also possibly to mess up the lurkers running through, but also as a nice little defense if that were to happen. Obviously, having felt last game and getting put into that bad position, he was taking no risk this game. And oh, this situation is a little bit more scary now. Pro Forward taking some... Actually, I think these games were played before that, but I was going to say Pro Forward taking a little bit of inspiration from Shine and going to do some very aggressive drop play here. And actually, Fozzik is just now moving out. Ling's going to run straight into the army. All of them will for sure die. Except for the ones that obviously are going to get turned around, but not much here in the way of defense. But of course what this means is that we are likely to have a quasi-base trade counter situation. Probably there are not enough units to defend from Pro Forward, especially without Hive Tech, but Fozzik has most of his army at home, nothing in this bunker, so defense from Fozzik is also going to be limited. Now, I think this has to be a lethal blow here from Pro Forward, since he's very likely to lose his natural, unless, of course, the scanners go down. That could allow him to hold on a little bit longer, and this is a lot of lurkers. Fozzik is coming over here, but these Marines need to pull back, and now it is just a question of defense versus attack, and Fozzik is being a little bit in trouble here with his multitask. He's got to move back. He's got to scan down on these lurkers. He's pulling the tank back. He kills them off pretty quickly, but of course back at home, lurkers doing a ton of damage, and it is just way hard to micro that well on both fronts, and so he is losing a few tanks here carelessly at home. He's trying to get lurkers burrowed all over the base and cause problems, losing almost everything in his main. Tank is set up there, but there are not enough scans to deal with these lurkers everywhere, and of course he did not opt for the vessel, opting instead for the 2 factories, so that's going to limit his scans, so that may allow Pro Forward to defend at home, and Fozzik is taking a tremendous amount of damage from this. He almost has a scan here. He actually has a lot of scans saved up in the natural. It looks like he's going to focus on trying to break that. Lurker's moving forward to burrow now. I don't know if they're going to work, but the Marines are very clumped, and if he gets the tanks, oh my god. Fozzik taking tremendous damage. That is now completely shut down, and Fozzik actually is just going to have to GG. Pro Forward's counter drop pressure working out for him fantastically, taking the game and tying the series up 1-1. And so we will go into a decisive Game 3 of Fozzik against Pro Forward. And it looks like Fozzik has elected to play on a map that everybody is comfortable with. And of course, it's a pretty decent Terran map, Fighting Spirit. So in the top left-hand corner, as our purple Zerg, we have Pro Forward. And in the bottom left-hand corner, as the teal Terran, we have Fozzik. And guys, take note of that game. That was a very nice game from Pro Forward. He did a good job getting lurkers burrowed in the main of Fozzik while also handling the attack at the same time, which was honestly very impressive play. I was surprised to see that from a guy that, from what I understand, is, you know, DD+, but it's not often you see someone taking games in pretty dominant fashion off of someone a whole rank ahead. So the question is, does Pro Forward have another plan up his sleeve to win this game, or is he just going to play the same style? We have seen 2 games with 2 hatch lurker drops, and will he opt for the same style to try to take him a Game 3? And what will Fozzik opt for? I'm guessing he will play fairly standard here, given that it's just a standard map, comfortable map. You pretty much know it's a little bit easier map to defend on. The main isn't that big. Lots of ramps. Overlord is headed the wrong direction for Pro Forward, but of course, ZVT, you don't usually scout all that much with your Overlord, because if you go in too far, if you go in about halfway, then your Overlord will die if Terran makes 11 racks and makes an immediate Marine. So usually you can just go in just about far enough to see if Terran's there, but you don't really get an opportunity to get intel with that Overlord. Just go in, find him, put your Overlord in position over the cliff. And Fozzik out with a scout after barracks. And where is he go? Okay, never mind. He's doing the... Actually, is he? Yeah, I guess that's the normal scout path. So just scouting over to the right-hand base. I couldn't tell if he was going to... Although there'd be no reason for a Terran to go through the center. Unless he was worried about a 4-pool and was hoping to see cross lings coming his way or something. But then again, if you're 4-pooling, it would be a kind of a bizarre decision to go straight cross. That would have to be suboptimal, no matter what, unless your opponent was cross, but you'd never know that. So for not knowing, it would have to be the wrong decision. Marine on the way for Fozic. And in the meantime, we have the usual 12 hatch here from Pro Forward. Now, will he get gas? Oh no, he's banking up. It looks like he's going to play 3 hatch play this game. So we're going to see something a little bit different here from Pro Forward. He's going to go ahead and take his drone, head home with that drone. And CC from Fozic. A very confident sort of CC as well. Since he has... Oh, never mind, he has scouted. Okay, so he can go ahead and drop that CC without worry. I was going to say, if you just make a CC out in the open with 1 Marine out, and you haven't scouted Zerg, you are definitely taking some risks, as if Zerg is 9-pooling or over-pooling, you would be in a lot of trouble when 6 lings, 4 lings show up and you just have 1 Marine. There's a good chance you'd have to cancel your command center, defend your ramp. It's just all-around ugly situation. Never one you want to be into. Never one you want to be... put yourself in. And gas is done. Third drone having a little bit of trouble, but finally makes its way over there. 6 hatchery, 3rd hatchery up for Pro Forward, and it looks like we have engineering bay. So looking at some 4 or 5 racks plus 1 play here from Mr. Fozic. Marines set up in a good position there. The natural, he's scouting with this SCV, so he knows there's only 2 lings, doesn't need a bunker, doesn't need to worry about anything yet, can just sit comfortably and keep on scouting. Should be able to see exactly the timing of the lair. Oh, actually, nice little choice there from Fozic, who's going to go ahead and make the lair in the natural. So Fozic will not see the exact timing of the lair. I wonder if he's going to go check the natural here at some point. We've got 100 gas. We should see ling speed. There we go. Very nice so far with Pro Forward following his build just fine. Should see a gas coming up here at the natural at any moment. And no, Fozic is not going to go to the natural. And no, little slow on the second gas. It's standard to make it right after that metabolic speed upgrade. The bunker starts for Fozic. And there we go. Have gas for Pro Forward. So it'll be interesting to see if he has enough gas to make 9 muta right at Spy. Oh, okay, never mind. Alright, so maybe he doesn't need the gas quite as fast. I don't play lurkers that often, so I'm not exactly sure the deets on gas timing. You probably don't need... I'm guessing you probably don't need quite as much gas. Oh, SCV tries to get in, but Sunken is there. Can't really get an SCV past 1 Sunken colony. Overlord there in a good position. Is he going to try to go out here and attack it? Nah, he's just positioning his Marines. So now we got 8 lings out, it looks like, for Pro Forward, and ling speed. So a potential danger here, although with a bunker, 4 Marines in it, 3 Marines here. If they were clustered, it'd be 100% safe, but realistically, Pro Forward is not going to try to dive in there. He could probably get a run-by pass and get a ling or 2 past. Oh, he actually is going to go for it. Alright, let's see if he can get a ling or 2. Nope. I thought he could get 1 or 2 past, but did not happen. So unfortunately, is going to donate all of those, and he did make a few more. And now this is going to lead to Fozic moving out across the map. There's only 1 Sunken out right now, and with the medic, that is definitely enough to threaten 1 Sunken. However, Pro Forward has made quite a few more lings, and honestly, with 12 lings, you could catch this, surround it, and kill it if you got it just right. Especially. Although it gets a little bit harder now with the second medic, and here we go, but he's not coming in very good position, but pulls that Marine back. There we go, killing off 4 or 5 of the lings. And unfortunately, that's really not what Pro Forward wanted to have happen now, because now it's going to get really difficult for him to move out and get any form of map control prior to his prior to Fozic's tank vessel timing. And it'll be a little bit interesting to see him playing +1 5 racks against this, as +1 5 racks is not really a build designed to play against lurker aggression. This Overlord is quite dead. 5 hatch +1 plays a little bit nicer against muta and focuses on denying a 3rd base, but in this case you can just make a lurker or 2 and send them across the map and get your third up pretty easily. It's usually fairly difficult to block that with Marines. And Pro Forward now getting his Spire as well. He's got his Queen's Nest, so he's going to have a pretty darn quick hive here, assuming he starts that shortly. He needs to make a Lurker here at some point, as he will not be able to hold off this force with just Sunkens for too much longer. Especially not with just 3 Sunkens. Alright, there we go. So we are starting this base. He's got Hydra over here, so you can see he'll have no problem securing that. He shouldn't... Well, that's where it starts to get a little bit scary. This Lurker needs to burrow for sure. Will he go for it? I'm guessing he probably won't, but how aggressive does he feel? Definitely going to line up here at the front, and this is what you'd want to do if you weren't going to go for it his turn. You just want to keep your map control, because if you move back, let Zerg come down here, you know you're going to have late factory, late vessel tech, relatively speaking, with the barracks play. So if you just let Zerg sit in the natural, and his timing is right, and you don't get out quick enough, then he will just be right there, and he'll swarm straight into your natural, and you'll lose. So you usually want to try to slow Zerg out and not let him get across to your bridges, which you can see is basically what Fozzik is doing. He's going to make Pro Forward work for every inch of the map. But Pro Forward, Pro Forward I think is generally a bit worried about these Marines, so he is continuing to make a Sunken, although that is an interesting Sunken position, assuming it's not going to be an anti-vessel spore. Although if it's an anti-vessel spore, he's like really concerned about Fozzik's timing, like way faster than he'd need to be, because the starport's only halfway done. But if it's for defense, it's too far out, so I think maybe he just wants these Marines to not be at his bridge, and he wants to force them back across the bridge. Alright, he's going for it, but... Or maybe, yeah, I guess he just wants to be able to force the Marines off, and that is now done, so it looks like Fozzik's going to split his army. A few guys outside the bridge, a few guys elsewhere. Oh, are we going to have a small Lurker flank? No, he's going for it. Alright, we got some aggressive play here from Fozzik. Will he have good enough Marine control? Right now, it's not looking all that exceptional. Will there be enough muscle? He does have a good spread, but there's not very many Marines. Killing off a decent number of Lurkers, and does get through that one Sunken, but... I don't know. I guess that was a decent trade for Fozzik. It did better than I expected. At first, it looked like he was going to take quite a bit of damage, but in the end, he did get his Marines spread pretty nicely. And 2 Lurkers set out here for Pro Forward. No kills, so it will be interesting to see if he is hoping to do hold Lurker with those guys, or if he just burrowed them there. They are in a beautiful hold Lurker position, though, I will admit. Oh, too bad. Although, they're still doing their job. Fozzik's attention was somewhere else, so doesn't get the tank, but does do a nice job killing a reinforcement round of Marines, immediately sieging up the tank, and it actually looks like that is enough to prompt him to move all of his Marines back. But now these 2 Lurkers... Oh, he knows where they moved. Nice. Oh, that is pretty good initial control. Loses 1, and that looks like it's going to be all. So nice control there from Fozzik. Doing some decent micro to get rid of those Lurkers. Oh, that is SCV party. SCV strike also. They're striking and partying while they're doing it. So now we've got a vessel coming across the map. What's the hive timing looking like? He's got the hive. He's making defilers. He's getting consumed. I've got 58 SCVs. Ooh, yeah, I was wondering about that. Drones are not super healthy at any base. Less than a drone per patch here. Definitely less. So yeah, very fragile economy from Pro Forward, which could prove to be a problem as the game goes on if he can't find a nice window to make a round of drones. And Fozzik immediately starting a 3rd base now as he starts to take pretty solid map control. Vessel out. Or, I thought it was out. No, Vessel almost out. Oh, Vessel is out. Yeah, I was going to say. Alright, so yeah, Vessel out. Just waiting on that consume. Oh, he's got the consume. Alright, so now he's just got to get out of here. So no chance for Vessel timing window to do damage from a lack of Darkstorm, but could still do damage if he controls effectively. The first little wave here shouldn't do anything, but it's usually a little bit later on if the Defiler gets irradiated, and then Terran can keep pressuring, but certainly has an iron grip of map control, which is going to let Fozzik start getting up his expansions and taking map control and getting up his expansions and stuff to get ready for mech switch. And now he's got to get out of there because that's a lot of Lurkers. 1 or 2 tanks should definitely go down. Oh no, actually he's not going to lose any tanks. So Fozzik pulling back, nice. I'm really surprised those tanks got out of there without dying. They look like they were doomed. Transfer already ready, factory going up. So Fozzik transitioning nice and quickly to mech, and oh, he actually has pulled the lurkers. Oh no, he pulled those lurkers earlier when he was bringing them over to the front here. So he's going to need to get through the Nidus Canal, needs to realize what is happening here pretty quickly. Okay, he's aware, should be fine. Irradiate should go down on that Defiler though. Swarm needs to go down on the ramp. Oh, he doesn't have enough. Oh god. Consume! Consume! Oh shit, oh shit. Actually, Fozzik's a little scared to go up there though. Alright, so the Defiler is dead. Does he have another one at the natural? Oh dear. I think Pro Forward is about to lose his third base. Okay, he's got to get that through the Nidus Canal. Fozzik can't run in there and snipe it. The lurkers are well spread for that, but this is going to be a hard defense. Pro Zergs can usually pull it off, but it looks like he's going for it. That lurker, or that Defiler, needs to consume and get through that Nidus Canal really quickly, but it's not happening. The canal is down. Third base is doomed here for Pro Forward, and unfortunately that's going to put him in a really rough position. Lurkers are running straight across the map, but unfortunately Fozzik has left two tanks sitting there, which did a lot of damage to those lurkers. One of them irradiated, one of them getting killed, and the other one getting down, but just one lurker sitting out on the map all by itself, not that much of a threat. More factories going up here at the third base. Vultures with mines coming out right now, still continuing to produce a few vessels, and it looks like he's going to quickly force that lurker back. Some Lings running out. Yeah, had he sent a group of Lings out, he could have gotten those tanks for sure earlier, but right now these tanks are just wreaking havoc everywhere. That was a bad place for that lurker to stop. But unfortunately, Pro Forward now in a terrible position. He's trying to get these tanks, but it looks like Fozzik's going to get Marines up here in time. I think he'll get one of the tanks. However, the second one ought to be protectable with this large group of Marines. Yeah, no problem there. We can see he is not upgrading right now either, which is not ideal. He's at 1-0. Probably 1-1 for Fozzik, but probably not. Actually, he's got 2 eBays. That's interesting. Is he just going to transition into sort of SK Terran with mines? Alright, so Defiler, he needs to get away from there. He doesn't have any lurkers. Oh, he's got lurkers back here. Should really get a swarm and get his lurkers on the front at least, so that the tanks aren't going to just walk up here and start seizing your hatchery, make things really uncomfortable. Alright, so we got 2 armories. So he's definitely is not going to transition into marine play. But it's a little bit interesting that he opted for... Oh, wait, what? So we're going to get 5 barracks, and we're going to get double armories? And get tanks? Tank Marine? Interesting late game from Fozzik here. This is definitely not the standard. So either he's playing something different, or he's not comfortable with his position on the map yet, and feels like he needs to keep making Marines before he transitions completely into mech. Which kind of surprises me, because honestly, it's a pretty solid group. I mean, I realize he doesn't have a ton of Vultures with mines out yet, but with everything he's got, I think he's feeling pretty comfortable. Some Lings trying to run through, but Marines here in position to help protect these tanks. Tanks clustered very nicely to avoid them doing damage to each other. Plague coming, oh, but unfortunately Dark Swarm still splashes. Oh, gets one tank nicely, and a few Lings running through, but they are not going to get anywhere. And Fozzik is also mining up and sending a tank up here to the top to prevent this base being taken and Zerg units from running, and oh my god, irradiate party. This is like the worst feeling as Zerg, where a cloud of vessels just comes in and every single lurker you needed to defend is like getting irradiated, and you're just like, shit. Even if I Dark Swarm, there's not going to be anything to hold off siege tanks. He did get everyone, right? Yeah, he did. Ouch. Alright, he needs to morph some more lurkers, or Fozzik is just going to move these tanks forward and there'll be nothing to stop siege tanks. Going for drops. And I don't know why these vessels are going all the way over here. But we can see Fozzik now starting to consume the map. Obviously has all these factories over here making tanks to defend his third base. So it's sort of like tanks to defend the base, but then mostly a marine vessel type force moving around the map with a few vulture mines. So I think Fozzik is just going to try or Pro Forward is just going to try a drop here, but I'm worried that he's just going to die before he even gets a chance to go for the drop. Still not quite sure why the vessels flew all the way over to this base. Alright, so now it is indeed Fozzik moving forward, but there is a lurker here. So he does have the ability to defend. A few more are morphing. Marines are sort of body blocking his own tanks out. And he's lining up, going in for the next wave of irradiates. He does see the Scourge, though, so he's going to be a little bit more careful with his positioning. Alright, one's definitely dead, but he does get the irradiate on the Defiler. He needs the Swarm right now. Alright, he gets the Swarm. He will not be able to hit the tanks, though. In fact, he will not be able to hit anything. And he does not have a further Swarm right now. At the same time, a dropship with 2 Vultures flying into the main. Nice pullback there on the vessels. And he's going to kill off those 2 Hydra and just very uncomfortable position. And it looks like this is... Wait, there better be a Defiler here, or this is way bad. Oh, these aren't even... Okay, this one is. This one might be. It's not clear. But, of course, the Vultures wreaking havoc at the same time in the main. And no units left over to even be dropped for Pro Forward, who seems to be on his last legs. And there it is. GG from Pro Forward as Fawcett goes ahead and takes it in a 2-1 victory. So, there we go. Team takes a 2-0 lead, and now comes the super bizarre experience of casting your own games. But, I don't know. I don't even know if I should cast this, if I should just, like, let you guys obs. So, spawning in the top left-hand corner, playing random against random, is SGS lmaster, and in the bottom corner as the purple Zerg we have MLTY. So obviously I know what happens in these games considering I played them, but MLTY is a random player, true random player in this league, and he has yet to do any sort of shall we say macro or long-term oriented build. I have seen from him 9-9 gate, 9-9 proxy gate with I've also seen 10-12 gate with an attempt to proxy 2 more gates. I have seen I want to say I've seen a 9 hatch. 9 hatch, 9 pool, 9 gas, ling all in. I've seen BBS. That's been every one of his games so far in CPL. And I am actually very curious about him as a player, especially in CPL. Like, I wonder if he actually likes to play that way, because it feels like it would get boring. Like, I don't want to judge, but I feel like I would get bored just doing nothing but all-ins, where if the person scouts you, you pretty much win, and if they don't scout you, pretty much lose. Just seems like it would get old. Or maybe that's just how he's being coached for this league, and doing that against players he's not sure if he can beat. But we'll see what he's got in store. In this game we can see he is going to go ahead and make a hatch. It is a 9 hatch. So again, a ling aggressive build. And actually I will admit I did scout this, and I always remark how you should pay attention to the hatch timing and notice if it's 12 hatch or 9 hatch. And you can guess what I didn't do. I definitely just thought it was a 12 hatch. And of course I was a Pro Dust main. I've been maining Zerg now for the last couple months, and I basically never play Terran, so always an adventure. So we have spawning pool, should be a gas coming up here. He might make Overlord first. Looks like, okay. I personally think it's better to do 9 gas and then 9 Overlord, because it gets you ling speed that faster, and getting the Overlord first doesn't really... It lets you make your 8 lings, your extra 6 lings, about 2 seconds faster, which I think is not worth the difference in gas timing. Like, I think having the lings 2 seconds later, but having ling speed 10-15 seconds faster is like way better alternative. Overlord is out, because if you make gas first and then Overlord, your Overlord pops like 2 seconds after this pool finishes instead of now. So like right now he'll be able to make all 8 lings at once, if he does. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and hatch those lings. And meanwhile, we have a barracks, and it looks like, you can see how bad this is misjudged, as I'm just dropping a CC on the low ground. Overlord coming in, that is definitely a mistake by Zerg, as that Overlord is dead. It's either a mistake, or it would be a genius play if he had lings coming up right now. If he did it to draw Marines off and then ran the lings in, that would actually be arguably genius. This is CPL League, so most players are in the D to C range. Maybe 1 or 2 C+ guys. But I would say most players in the league are probably D+, C-, with a few outliers on each side. We got 4 lings headed up right now. But of course, this build transitions into a boatload of speedlings, so there's going to be a lot more speedlings coming up across the map. And we have our first 4 running in. Will there be a reaction in time? Nope. The first Marine is immediately down, going straight over to the hatchery. Has lost the Overlord, though, which will probably affect his production a little bit, but it looks like he's prepared for that eventuality. And SCV going down on the command center. Will he be able to finish the command center? Uh-oh, Marines are in danger at the ramp, being pulled back right now. Trying to get back here in micro. He's got enough with really good control. He might be okay right now. Trying to pull back. Looks like he's doing a good job, and he will handle this for the moment. Cleaning up those, but now a few more lings coming in, and 1 Marine goes down. 3 lings against 3. No more reinforcements coming across the map. Decent blocking from the SCVs, but another Marine goes down. So it's still 3, and now what is the game plan here? SCV's coming down. Does he know more lings are coming in? It is not clear. It looks like 1 right now. Bunker starts, but that is a lot of speedlings coming across the map, and there is nothing at the ramp right now. Zergling getting blocked out, but a lot more Zerglings coming in. Can they get the Marines at the ramp? He gets 1. Uh-oh, all of a sudden there are a ton of lings getting flooded in here. All the Marines are going down, trying to pull back. The bunker is definitely not going to get finished, and it looks like Terran is in danger of getting run over at this moment. SCV is being pulled off the line. 1 Marine pops. He's sort of trying to hold his ramp here. He's trying to get through the Marine. It looks like right now the SCVs are actually succeeding in blocking, and he is holding off the lings for the moment, but there's no way that bunker is going to finish. Command center is finished, but certainly is not going to be able to be landed right now. And Terran just defending at the ramp. But the SCVs are dying. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Can Zerg get up the ramp? It's just 2 Marines. Uh-oh, he's up on top of the ramp. On top of the Marines, 1 goes down. SCVs are really out of position here, doing some sort of awkward dance. He's trying to get them. 1 dying for free at the bottom. And it is just an endless flood of lings right now coming from the Zerg player. If the ramp is lost, this is going to look really ugly. Terran has built a bunker back at home, but there might be enough lings such that they can just surround the bunker. It looks like, though, MLTY is going to opt to go ahead and kill off the barracks and the depot at the front. Barracks is forced to lift it, and now what are these Zerglings going to do? That is a ton of Zerglings, just endless Zerglings, and it looks like in the meantime, a 3rd hatch is being added. No tech from the Zerg. And he's going for the bunker. Terran trying to repair. Will it be a repair enough? Fast enough? It looks like it's going to be close, but maybe there's just enough repair right now that the bunker is... it's close. Trying to pick off some SCVs with these lings. But in the end, Terran stays alive for a moment, but more lings are pouring in. If he just targets the SCVs, I don't even think Terran will have any economy left at this point. But he's going for the bunker, and he's not really getting any surface area. The lings are getting blocked out by the SCVs. And for the moment, the bunker stays alive, but look at the SCV count right now. Terran has only 5 SCVs. And Zerg has at least 7 or 8 drones. And with 5 SCVs, honestly, if Zerg just makes enough lings and surrounds the bunker, it's probably not even possible to repair. A Firebat is out for Terran, which can help against this lings being positioned between the bunker, and it looks like Zerg is charging in right now, but he is probably mismicroing and attacking this command center, although there's no defense of the command center right now, and it looks like Zerg may be able to force a lift on the command center. And more lings just being flooded in. Of course, now it is 3 hatches of lings, no gas being mined. It's a little bit unfortunate, honestly. If Zerg right now was teching and made a couple mutas or a lurker or 2, it would just be GG. Probably is GG anyway, but we'll see. He's going for SCVs right now, targeting SCVs being run away. Firebat being worth its weight in gold, though, helping to defend that position on the bunker. And SCVs do a pretty good job, actually, running around. I don't think he was able to get any kills, maybe 1, but the Firebat is out of position right now, or is that a second Firebat? I don't know. Either way, it is out of position and picked off, but these lings, again, going for SCVs. Can they get one? Not quite. So Terran has built up his SCV count ever so slightly, and Zerg just continuing to flood in lings right now. He'll need to be a little bit more careful, as there is still that 1 Firebat in the bunker. I don't think there's any longer a Firebat position here, but there is sort of a command center hovering over position. And Zerg again going for the Firebat. SCVs are pulled again as he goes for the bunker. And he picks off another SCV, but the SCV count is ever so slowly growing. What is it? 8 drones for MLTY and up to 9 SCVs for Terran. And again, those lings are just rallied right here to the top. So what is Zerg's game plan from here? It's starting to look like he might not be able to break the Terran with just pure ling. He's having a hard time. There's a few medics out. It's going to get really difficult now to actually break this. So how will he play, and will he transition? He is going to transition. He's starting to mine gas right now. He's probably wishing he had lurkers coming up right now. If he would have kept one on gas the whole time, he could have started lair quite a while ago and been bringing in a few lings, or been bringing in a few lurkers or mutas, which would be absolutely devastating. I mean, you know, 6 or 7 mutas right now would basically just pick everything off. A lurker or two, there'd obviously be absolutely no response to the lurkers, no comm sense. I mean, Terran's not even able to scout if there are lurkers coming, let alone actually have something to deal with them. And it looks like right now MLTY just kind of waiting, starting his lair tech, making an overlord. He's added on a few more drones, up to 14 drones. And what is going on from Terran player? A little bit supply blocked here. I'm gonna go ahead and lift off the command center. And we got a few lings moving forward here, trying to pick off a gas SCV. SCV's pulled off the line. Looks like that will stay alive. And okay. He's denying the comsats. Is he planning to go to lurkers? He's definitely going to block both of the comsats if he has lurkers coming right now, which unfortunately he doesn't. If he would have had lurkers coming, again, look at that. That would have been so devastating. There's like no way Terran can possibly respond to that. Terran is going to add another barracks. Still looks like he's pretty scared, trying to add in that barracks sort of in close to where he is. Doesn't want to get it picked off, I guess. And one Marine is wandering out here a little bit dangerously. I'm maybe trying to see if the lings are on hold position. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's trying to do, is bait back some lings. And actually, this is a large chunk of lings. And actually, MLTY is going to come in here with everything. But this is a pretty narrow position that I don't think he can really penetrate with his lings. He is attacking the barracks like mad. It looks like he's going to cancel or kill. That was a kill on that barracks. No cancel there. But at what cost? That is going to be all of his lings, which don't get much else aside from a barracks. Will not get the second round of scanners here, assuming Terran reacts. And yeah, it looks like Terran has pulled everything out of the bunker now. And Zerg has made a bunch of drones, though. So now the economy for Zerg is just fine. In fact, it is superior to the Terran economy. And he has tech coming, plus 3 bases, so everything considered, Zerg still looks to be in an okay position. Terran's starting his factory and adding a few barracks. He's accumulated quite a bit of money, almost a K of minerals. Either just poor macro or just not realizing or not feeling comfortable to put down more barracks with the space he had. Didn't want them to get picked off. But either way, putting down 3 barracks and an engineering bay to bring that money down a little bit. Floating out the CC now. It looks like he will be able to retake his natural. However, there are lurkers on the way. Hydra popping out, second gas for MLTY, who now has an absolutely huge economy at 35 and compared to just 21 SCVs for the Terran player right now. And also double upgrades, spines for the lurkers, and of course carapace. No upgrades done yet for Zerg, but of course the engineering bay just now finishing for Terran, meaning that Zerg is going to be in a good position as far as upgrades go as well. A bunker's immediately being put at the front. Now if Terran gets 2 or 3 bunkers up, he will not be broken by lurkers in the short term, especially on destination of all maps. However, if Zerg goes for a hive, that is a different story altogether, because then you'll get stuck in your base against lurkers, and that is not a good situation. No upgrades yet from Terran. Looks like is starting to get a starport up though. Perhaps worried about those defilers. And now a big army here coming out from MLTY. A lot of lings, a lot of lurkers. Upgrades on the way. Nothing else going on at his base right now. And it looks like Terran is really nervous about this, as he is going to go ahead and add up to 3 bunkers. Lurkers are having some problems getting burrowed here. And where is the rest of the army? It is not really happening in concert. Units trying to get into the barracks. It looks like the turret just envisioned, able to hold this off, and it looks like, well, depends on what these lings can do. Can they get us around to the bunker? Actually, he wants to go for the turret. Will there be enough scans? There's no scanner here. This is the last scan for Terran. If Terran gets broken right now, he is done for. But he holds right now, and this lurker is not at the front. So for the moment, Terran hangs on, and now he has enough to scan. Although no comsat at this base. Notice no comsat and not one being added. So he really is hoping that Zerg is not going to suddenly charge across here. He will have a turret back up, but again, it is just one. Oh, it looks like he's going to add a second turret. And Zerg now sending some more lings across the map. Should have his upgrades finished. Oh, what? Oh, okay, so he doesn't want a double layer. He probably wants to hive, but he doesn't have hive. And he started the second spine upgrade really quickly. Will he be as sharp with the carapace? If so, major props, because those upgrades are going to get really good. And honestly, if you get that far ahead of Terran on upgrades, you can see Terran not upgrading, the lings will start to become really invincible. But he has not started it quite as promptly. Starting to get quite a few minerals here for our Zerg player. Really needs to add another hatchery and get going. A lot of gas too, honestly. Starting that Queen's Nest. So Hive Tech on the way, but of course Terran has the starport. Oh, he's adding a second starport. That is interesting. Not quite sure what the decision making behind the second starport would be. Oh, cancelled. Okay. It looks like Terran is going to go ahead and kill off the bunker, and oh, maybe he accidentally made a second starport instead of science facility, as the starport cancelled and a facility put in its place. And Hive. Wait, what? Oh, I guess that was just Hive getting started. Alright, so Hive, and yes, a hatchery is now being added for MLTY. And this is a dangerous position for Terran. These vessels are not that quick still. And if he doesn't get out of here soon-ish, there are going to be defilers on the map, and that's going to be Swarm in the natural and Swarm on the bridges, which, I'm sorry, on destination, I don't think you are ever getting out of that. It's hard enough on a regular map, but on destination, it is the worst of nightmares. Bunker's still super bunkered up. Alright, Terran finally getting his first upgrade. Did Zerg ever start that second carapace? No, unfortunately. Which is really a bummer, because then Zerg would be looking at having +2 carapace to 0 attack when Terran was trying to bust out, which would be some really invincible lings. Terran looks like scanning 4 bases. There is a base back here, has been mined out, but it is just a mineral base, so it's not going to give Zerg access to that extra gas that he so badly desires. Hive almost done. Okay, there we go. There's the second carapace. But in this case now, with this timing, the +1 will be finished before that second carapace. And what is the tech path from here? Surely not Guardians, which leaves only Defilers or a direct switch into Ultra. Which honestly would be kind of strong right now. I mean, except for the fact there's 2 gases. But it looks like Zerg is going to choose the Defiler option. Alright, so the first vessel is out from Terran, so we'll have a little bit of a window here to push. Zerg is in no realistic danger of dying to this push given the timing, but Terran might just be able to get out on the map before Defilers are out. Although, getting across these bridges is always a bit of an affair, and uh-oh, a tank in a little bit of trouble. Ling's going for it, trying to pull the tank back. Can he save it? It looks like the answer is going to be yes, just barely. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, sloppy control there. Terran losing a tank for nothing. This tank is, I guess, going to be sieged on the high ground, which could be annoying. Could force a lurker off the top if there's a scan there, and yes, indeed, he can start attacking that lurker, but there's a shitload of lings. I just want to realize that is a shitload. Oh, they should probably not be coming over like this. This is a really narrow funnel with a lot of Marines. Oh, and a good D-Matrix there, but I don't think those lings are going to do anything. So, a large Ling donation there from MLTY, who, honestly, if he holds this position for Okay, we're going Plague before Consume. I don't think he could have possibly researched Consume. I was going to say, if he holds on just a little bit longer, he'll just swarm on the bridges and win. But with Plague and not Consume, will that be costly? I think Plague is great, but I think Plague before Consume is not very justifiable in any situation. I think you'd get a faster Plague probably just going Consume and then whatever, maybe your first Plague would be ever so slightly faster going Plague first, but every Plague after that would absolutely be slower, and you can't get off multiple Plagues. So now it looks like Terran has found a way out across his bridges, although it looks like macro is starting to be a bit of an issue here. Second factory being added, although honestly 3 racks with the economy he has now, it's not enough. But as we can see, the barracks also not flashing. Defilers are out, but of course there is no energy, so Terran is just going to come attacking in here, and he has not researched Consume. Was there any change in that? No, he's not even getting Consume right now. So this could be a problem for Zerg, who has a shitload of Defilers, but they are completely useless, and they're moving completely the wrong direction. This is not a good attack right here from Zerg, but there are just a lot of Zerglings, so still doing some damage. No medics here. 1 medic here for Terran, but that is a decent win. He's going to clear out the center of the map right now. And another vessel coming down, Marines coming out. Terran is going to keep making, it looks like, tanks from 2 factories. Probably should be getting a few vultures with mines at some point here, especially having seen those defilers now. Finally clears out the lurkers, and Zerg is moving these overlords away here, continuing to pump a ton of lings. Remember, he does have access to a lot of mineral patches. Is there still no Consume, or has he researched it when I didn't know better? We'll have to wait and see if we see a defiler, and if said defiler consumes anything. But it looks like Terran coming down here right now. But honestly, he doesn't have a lot of stuff. There might just be enough lings to overpower this, especially with the upgrade advantage. That is a lot of Zerglings and not very many Marines. Terran appears to be overreaching here, and he is going to get this little force cleaned up. The tank is not even trying to run away. So that is it for that little force. Medics now returning home. Terran macroing a little bit, but still only 3 barracks. Okay, I guess 4 barracks, but only 4 barracks, 2 factory, and the 1. And of course, mining out in the main. So minerals getting a bit thinner for Terran than they are for Zerg, who has access already to this 3rd base. Ling's coming up, picking off another tank using the high ground splash damage tank to finish that off. And now Terran back into his natural. Does have a vessel, so I don't think we'll see him sit there that much longer. But defilers are out now. Do we have any evidence of... Okay, finally at the 21-minute mark, Zerg grabbing Consume. Of course, that is a bit misleading given the first 10 minutes of the game were Ling spam and bunker defense. And not sure what that vessel was doing, but we have a lot of defilers right now. A lot of defilers, but we don't have any lurkers, which means that tanks are a little bit bigger problem than they probably ought to be, because 4 or 5 tanks sieged up, even if you have... Oh, these Marines... Okay, never mind. Everything is coming down now. But 4 or 5 tanks sieged up can still hit and do a lot of splash damage to things under Darkstorm, so you won't be invincible. Now, this is not so great to have these Lings all down here, but a ton of Lings. Now, if Zerg hits a few good Plagues, this could be devastating, but trying to run across these bridges, especially with this spread of siege tanks, is not the best of ideas. It does put a Darkstorm down there, but again, just Lings are not going to be able to run across the bridges against 6 or 7 tanks. Looks like Terran is adding a few more factories, looking like he wants to get some mech out. And the Defiler goes down. Oh no, 2 Defilers. Does he have any more? No, he doesn't have any more Defilers left right now. And it looks like maybe a bit premature, but just says GG. And Terran will take that first game in a very long game. Honestly, I feel like MLTY probably should have had that game, but just didn't quite make the transition quick enough to make it work. You know, had he transitioned, you know, kept 1 drone on gas while doing that attack, made a lair and made a lurker or 2, or gotten 6 or 7 muta, it would have been fine. But I think even in that position, like if you consider where Zerg was still probably okay. I mean, I realize he'd lost his Defilers, but All he needed to do was make a lurker to get a defiler, defend his bridges. He still has 3 bases. Terran hasn't secured anything yet. You know, Zerg was kind of inching backwards in his position in that game, but I guess he just, I don't know, didn't feel like there was anything he could do and left, but he was still in the game, I would say. Maybe he didn't realize it. Maybe he felt, oh fuck, there's like 7 tanks on the bridge here, and Terran's probably got 5 bases because he hadn't been scouting, and you know, just over. Oh, drone getting a little bit derped. We do have time to worry about, so we are going to have to speed through the first part of the game. And we can see Overlord heading down here as we go into game 2. So on the top right-hand corner as the purple Protoss, we have SGS lmaster. And in the bottom corner as the purple Zerg, we have SGS lmaster. In the bottom corner as the blue Protoss, we have MLTY. And of course, having told you what I already have told you about MLTY, we can expect to see gateways. Gateways on 10-12 or 9-9. Obviously, gateway is going to be in the main, but how many and what timing? Looks like it'll be a 10 gate for the first one. Although I will admit I'm not a fan of this. If you're going to rush with gateways, with zealots, you might as well get them somewhere where they get to the base that much faster. This is like intentionally delaying your zealots from getting anywhere useful. I mean, I guess you could say you're hiding it, but if you're hiding it from the Overlord, it's only going to gain you an extra 10 or 15 seconds of no vision. And if you're not, then whatever. And keep in mind, this match is random versus random. So neither player knows, maybe that's factoring into this, as neither player knows what race the other player is playing, and maybe MLTY just wants to make it take that much longer for his opponent to figure out what he's playing. And that could also explain the 10-12 gate, as obviously some people don't like to play one base tech against Zerg, so, and obviously you can't forge fast expand because that's not good against 2 races. So 10-12 gives you something you can sort of make work against anybody. It's kind of shitty against Terran, but you can usually bullshit some stuff to some degree. And it looks like Zerg has gone for the build MLTY did last game, which is to say 999. Looking at that pool timing relative to the hatch, it's done almost at the same time. And we can see Overlord about to finish. So this is what I mean. Overlord's finished about 2 seconds later, and then April Puplings, and oh, what is... Oh! The Zerg... Unfortunately, if this had been just a little bit higher, but the return path of the drone allowed the probe to be seen. Oh, is he going to lose the drone? The drone... Okay, he pulls the drone. But yeah, had this been just a little bit higher, it would have gone unfound. Of course, the probe is coming across, so perhaps whatever MLTY was planning to build there... he'll now be... Oh! The Zerg tries to run. He does get the probe, but he loses the drone. And this is not a build that has a ton of drones, so that is... it's a bit of a painful loss. But there are a lot of lings out right now for Zerg, who definitely is wise to what is going on. And we can see he's got a 3rd gate there. He doesn't add anything. So perhaps he just wanted to add gateways here, hidden, and hope that the Zerg would just see 2 gates and then just come in with so many zealots would be a problem. But now it looks like Zerg is going to go ahead and move out. He's going to pick off that pylon. So that is done for. And Zerg, obviously a little bit scared here. Going to add a creep colony. But there are 5 zealots moving out. Overlord has seen this. 3rd gateway going down. Still no gas. And Zerg a bit mineral starved. Sunken being morphed. And Zerg is going to go ahead and add on a few drones. And here come 5 zealots with good control. Maybe some possibility to do damage. Zerg is adding a 2nd sunken colony here. Taking this very seriously with the 3 gates. And now the Lings moving down, but do pull back when they see all 5. So let's see, what is the game plan here from Protoss? Looks like he's going to go in. Zerg now going in for surround fighting, and it looks like Zerg wants to commit. He pulls back here a little bit with the Lings, but it looks like this is not going well for the Protoss at all. A few Zealots attacking, but so far no damage is done. Zealots are all cleaned up, and I guess that's GG. So MLTY goes down 2-0. I guess without having done any damage and seeing 2 sunken colonies, Zerg figured, hey, what am I going to be able to do? So game 3 is a dummy rep, and we will go into the last series from this game, which is between Xloctus of teamn and DNH of Magical Ponies. So, in the top left-hand corner, as our Teal Terran from teamn, we have Xloctus. And in the bottom left-hand corner, as our Yellow Terran from Magical Ponies, we have DNH. Fast forward through the early parts. Sorry, guys. I hate to do this, but we do have a lot of games, and we're trying to get caught up, so I will go a little bit faster through the early portion. And I'll talk a little bit about the players. DNH is a, I believe, C- level Terran. Long-time player in these sorts of leagues. He's been playing for almost as long as I can remember, since at least 2012, 2013. Fairly standard, just kind of overall solid macro Terran solid for these levels. And Xloctus is a little bit of a newer arrival. I think he first started playing maybe within the last year. What was I going to say? Shoot. I think he's around D+. I don't know if he's improved a lot. I think he's been practicing quite a bit. Whoa, double kill. Actually, I think what happened is the SCV just killed that one, and this one just finished him off at like the exact same timing almost. So I would say, if I had to guess, DNH is probably the favorite here. But I don't know how Xloctus is doing. I think Xloctus might be an SC2 convert, because he was one of those players that when I played against earlier on, he seemed to have, you know, surprisingly solid macro for someone that was playing just really bizarre. Like, you could tell that the person seemed familiar with RTS, but they just didn't know anything Brood War specific. But in this case, of course, he's opting for, in fact, he must have opted for CC first, right? I wasn't paying close enough attention, but it looks like Xloctus has actually gone 14 CC. And now a Marine coming up here from DNH to apply a little bit of pressure, and suddenly the situation for Xloctus is not good at all, because this is an unfinished barracks. SCV is off the line here for Xloctus, who really needs to get an SCV on that barracks, which he does. And he's got to finish that. It's very close to being done. Alright, it is done, but this defense could be a problem. We've got two Marines here. Does pick off the SCV. Now the Marine's just going to continue to kite back from the SCVs. Oh, he loses one. That's good for Xloctus. Because remember, oh, actually, this is suddenly way worse. A Vulture is here right now, and with this, there is not going to be a tank anytime soon. So it's a question of that Vulture, but he's sticking around, and ooh, DNH with some pretty sloppy control is going to lose that first Vulture. If he could have kept that alive, he could have continued to do a ton of damage, even running a Vulture into the main. But now he's just trying to... Oh, but look at this. Xloctus is so focused on the micro right now that he did not make a Marine, and he's kind of swinging back and forth. DNH with a major mistake, now Xloctus with a major macro error at the wrong time. It's easy to do, but it's critically not good. And of course the bunker unfinished, taking tons of damage here, being punished for this 14 CC. DNH really anticipating the timing of that Marine, nicely picking it off with the Vulture now. Looks like he is not rallying another one up, and oh, good SCV timing, trying to finish that bunker. The Marines are popping really close to it. I like that bunker position. It will give him an opportunity to get the Marine in that bunker. If he's paying attention, reacts quickly, he does get a Marine in, and it looks like for the moment he's gonna be okay. Now, his factory is really delayed, so honestly he's not gonna be able to mine from this command center for a long time, especially, no, he can't mine from anywhere. Oh, this is bold. This is a mistake too. Oh god, I guess Xloctus left at that point. I don't know why he came down from there. He should have just been patient. But unfortunately, that was not what happened. And DNH takes set number 1. So we go into set 2 of Xloctus against DNH. Actually, these games were probably given to me out of order, or I labeled them wrong, because set 1 is supposed to be on destination. But it doesn't matter for the purpose of casting. It's game 1. I guess the only way it could matter is if there's a middle game and we cast 2 winning games beforehand. But oh well, either way, this was supposed to be game 1. It's also possible they played in the wrong order, and I don't have the deets, so I can't give an answer. So we'll just watch what happens. So in the top corner, at the 12 o'clock position, 11 o'clock position, 11:30 position, I don't know what to call it, we have DNH from Magical Ponies. In the bottom right-hand corner, As the blue Terran, we have X-Loctus. So both players are going to... Usually you don't wall in TVT, by the way, because if early pressure stuff happens, you'll just lose the wall. So, and you can see DNH, you know, again, I think is more experienced with Brood War itself and knows this, but X-Loctus, although X-Loctus has not finished this depot. Notice the health, so it may be... Actually, he's going to go ahead and finish it. So he just wanted to block the SCV to start with, and now he's going to go ahead and finish the wall, but it's not common to wall in TVT for what I was just talking about. And we can see factory going up here for X-Loctus and a factory for DNH. Oh, okay, so X-Loctus here looking to return the favor to DNH after getting out aggroed the first game, although admittedly he played greedy, but looking to return the favor and be the aggressive player here against DNH in our second set. Vulture out right now for DNH, and it looks like it is going to be a tank here for X-Loctus from the first factory and Vulture from the other factory. The question is, though, siege or mines, and the answer here is mines. Interestingly, though, and perhaps mistakenly, the barracks is lifted off, which may allow a scout in for X-Loctus, or the Vulture in for DNH, which will allow him to see the two factories. I think it's really important right now that X-Loctus keep DNH from seeing this, but seeing the second Vulture should tip DNH off. So now he sees, oh shit, two Vultures. So he's going to lose this one, which isn't ideal at all, but he's got some warning now. What is the response to this? How is he going to deal with this? He should know it's two factory, because two Vultures like that doesn't make sense. And it looks like the answer is he is going to put down a wall so he doesn't die to these initial Vultures, which will keep him reasonably safe against this. Actually, this has not been a tank. I miscalled that. He actually just made the machine shop to get mines. He should probably mine up the natural, but that's one way to hold this off. Now he can go for a tank, which he probably will go for a tank, knowing that he's up against two fact and there will be a lot of Vultures. And he wouldn't have enough Vultures to ever retake. Oh, I guess there's a Marine over there. Alright, so he needs to pull this Vulture back. Pull it back! Pull it! No! Pull it back! Pull it! Okay, there we go. He's pulling it back. What? He's gonna make... that's... Wow. This is ballsy. He can't really repair this wall either. He kind of noticed that too. There's way too many Vultures. This is a very interesting situation. I almost wonder if he's going to make a tank, because one Wraith, it's going to take one Wraith a long time to kill that. He's going to add a second factory. SCVs are going to try to repair, but let's face it, SCV repair on a wall like that would just, it's not going to be fast enough. I think he kind of has to try, though, because he's really in danger. I wonder if he's canceled this. No, he's sticking with this. He's sticking with this. He wants to drop, but there's no way for that. The Wraith's going to be out. Now the question is, does this X-Loctus stay and pressure with that Wraith there, or does he run away? I think he can still kill a lot of SCVs if he continues to pressure, and he is going to continue. Nice, I like that. Although he doesn't have his Vultures working together very well right now at all. And oh no, he's not attacking the SCVs, so now this is getting a little bit less efficient here for X-Loctus, and it looks like in the end DNH is going to scare it away. A lot of mines, but critically, look where there are not mines. In the position of a CC, so if DNH decides at any point he wants to expand, he will certainly have that option, and mines will not be a barrier to him expanding. Unless he comes back and lays some more here, which he might. The single Wraith is out. The wall is repaired. And a few tanks are on the way now, and with siege. Okay, so the Wraith, though, is a problem. Turrets are going to have to go up in the main. And if he wanted to be aggressive here, he'd need to get a turret up. And of course, he also has to deal with this. Now, the dropship flew over his Vultures. So, if he was being at all attentive, and I find it hard to imagine you aren't, particularly when you're busy attacking a wall, he should have noticed the dropship flying over him and thought, I could be in trouble. However, the way he's playing as if he didn't see the dropship, because he's in danger of getting 4 Vultures dropped in his base, and he has his entire army in the middle of the map to be aggressive. So, this is likely, unless he's making tanks back here and has them popping at the... Oh, Jesus. Okay, so this is likely to turn into the kind of situation where he needs to kill him or die, but he has no answer to a Wraith. So I would say things look really, really good for DNH right now, unless he makes a massive mistake. Oh my god, that is interesting. So he's not going to let units in from the natural. And of course, there's nothing being made in these factories right now, which is really unfortunate for Xloctus. He can mine up the factories, although they're not even producing. And all he has to do now is kite units, and he's fine. He's got a Wraith here. He can kill off this Marine. He can kill off these tanks. I mean, Xloctus might be able to breach the wall with siege tank damage, but his economy is absolutely done for. I'd like to see a little more micro here from DNH, but let's face it, he's also trying to not get everything killed at home, but he's able to mine this up. It's going to be really hard to move against. He's lost all his SCVs, and it doesn't look like Xloctus really has an answer. His last tank is getting picked off by these Wraiths, and DNH can just continue to defend with his Vultures at the top of the ramp. No way the single tank can get up there now, and it looks like this is held, and nothing is at home for Xloctus, and it looks like DNH is going to take a quick and simple 2-0 here in perhaps our most one-sided series of the game, and it looks like it's going to be the lone bright spot for Team Magical Ponies in an otherwise 3-1 beating. And fifth game was a walkover. I forget who for. Vulture's continuing to rain down. He's actually walled himself out at this point. And the lack of micro, okay, he's not going to kill every SCV, but all he's got is like 2 tanks. Oh, he's still got 1 Vulture. Oh, shit. Oh, he almost got the Vulture to get in the way. Oh. Wait, is he out of tanks? Oh, shit. He's out of tanks. Oh, that must have been a very low health Marine. Or Wraith. A few more Vultures coming down. Looks like that's all she wrote for SCVs, because he's never getting out of there with that wall. The natural is completely undefended. Nothing's even being made right now, and that would be game number 2.